Hey everybody, Sam here, also known as Mr. Stainless, and we are back again for another Skull and Bones video. And today what I want to talk about is a comment or a statement I see in my YouTube comments and over in the subreddit and Discord and stuff quite a bit, and that is that these delays really that we're seeing for Skull and Bones will affect sales for the game. So if you've been following Skull and Bones from the very outset, we've known about Skull and Bones was like first announced I think in 2016. 2017 maybe at this point. It was a game that a lot of us were very excited for, but it's kept getting pushed back. We were hoping for a release date last year, and then they've pushed it back to 2019-2020. As such, obviously a lot of us in the community are slightly frustrated because it looks like a really cool game. We want to get our hands on it, we want to play it, and having these kind of delays, tentative delays, just kind of affects your own hype and anticipation for the game. Because of that, and I think out of that frustration, a lot of people have then gone online to say that, you know what, because it keeps getting delayed, it's not going to sell well and it's going to bomb. And I don't actually think that's the case whatsoever. In fact, I don't think these delays are going to affect the sales whatsoever. The only thing that it will affect are the people in the community who have been following the game from the outset. So this could be a slightly pessimistic way to look at this, but I don't think delays to a game necessarily really affect it, especially for a game like Skull and Bones. The way you've got to look at it is that we first heard about this game like 2 years ago. Most of the people who watched E3 at that point and thought Skull and Bones looked cool have probably forgotten about it if they're not ingrained in the Skull and Bones community over in the Reddit and the Discord. Tons of games have come out in the time that we first heard about Skull and Bones. I don't mean this as an insult, by the way, to the development team. This is just how it all goes, and it's just taking a slightly realistic look at it all, but there have been tons of games that have come out since Skull and Bones was first announced, and tons, and equally, gamers and people have a very short attention span, and whenever we see something nice and flashy and new, we kind of gravitate towards that. So for that reason, I think that these delays won't affect the sales whatsoever, because whenever Ubisoft actually finally come out and announce a release date, that's whenever we're going to start to see people getting hyped up for it. Because in essence, at the mind of the majority of gamers out there, Skull and Bones doesn't exist, and they don't know it exists either. The one thing, like I said, that I do think this affects, and that these delays and this kind of vagary affects, are the people who have been in the community and ingrained in the community from the outset. I think this length of time that has passed since the game was first announced at E3, the folks who have been in the Discord and the Reddit and the forums and have been trying to post and trying to keep that hype alive, I think this kind of vague release window affects them more than anything, because they have been actively waiting for this, and they have been actively sitting on the edge of their seats for the past like 2.5 years waiting for this game to come out, and yet are not getting any information, they're not getting any release date, and for them I think it affects their likelihood of actually getting the game at the end. One, because they either become so frustrated that they haven't heard anything about it that they just walk away from it, or two, because it's been such a long length of time, they've been hyping it up in their head and they've been having discussions about, oh, I would love for this feature to be in it, I'd love for that feature to be in it, when in actual fact we don't know if any of those features will be in it. But the problem that comes with that is that whenever discussions like that happen, people come in, they see that discussion, and they assume that all of these speculative features that the community have been talking about will be in the game, and that the game will be like that. So whenever they're shown that in the end, they're let down. Does that make any sense? Kind of. So for instance, it's like people coming in and talking about Skull and Bones whenever it was first announced and saying, oh hey, I can't wait to go and board other ships and walk on land. And even though the developers have kept telling us time and time and time again that neither of those are going to be in the game, for someone just coming in fresh and seeing that, and seeing someone being really excited for boarding and land gameplay, they may just assume that that's going to be in the game. So whenever they actually announce the release date, we start to see that hype build up, and they understand that then those features aren't in the game, they get upset. So yeah, basically my opinion is that no, this kind of tentative, vague release schedule window thing that we're in right now, this kind of drought of information, will not affect sales of the game in the long run. The people who it affects are the people who are in the community. And I think that's a real shame, because the people who have been in the community from the outset, from whenever the game was first announced, have been pouring their heart and souls into this and their passion into this, and it's been tough in the past 6 months kind of slowly seeing that enthusiasm wane, because all of them assumed, we all thought that the game was going to be coming out in 2018, and to be then told that, hey, you might be waiting another year, 2 years to get your hands on this, it was just a massive blow. And I think what's going on with the game right now affects them more than anything else. But yeah, folks, this has just been a little like throwaway, hey, here's my opinion on a thing video today, but hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, feel free to let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. But until next time, have a great week. I'll speak to you all soon.